Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Also as well, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. They continue to roll very well to this very day. Let us continually feed and fly through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And also as well, Shalom to the whole elect. Let's also likewise labor in this work and continuing to show forth your faith in this ministry by furthering this ministry and spreading this gospel to other members of the whole elect and faith in truth and sincerity and also in all charity. Now, topic of this video is going to be entitled "The Punishment That Fits the Crime." All right. Now, this is pursuant unto the occurrence that took place during the time of Cain and Abel, in which we all know the story of Cain and Abel, how Abel gave the correct sacrifice, and Cain did not give the correct sacrifice, and in turn, Cain turned around and slew his brother Abel. All right, and from that time forward, it set a sequence of events, and it set the stage for what you see today. All right, and that's why there's within the scriptures is a prophecy of the downfall and a great future judgment concerning one particular nation, in which the scriptures over and over again speaks about the judgment which is going to come upon the nation of Edom or Esau, all right, which is the true biblical nationality of the so-called white man. That's the term that they're being called today, and from the time to when, or should I say the occurrence that took place during the time of Cain and Abel, Abel and Cain represented the dynamic between the two brothers, all right, in which Cain slew his brother Abel, and then from that time afterwards, later on, you had Jacob and Esau, all right, and that same brotherly hatred was still there. Esau, due to the blessing that was given to Jacob, Esau hated him, okay? And from that time forward, there's always been animosity between the nation of Israel and the nation of Edom, all right? And you can see that one of the examples is when we was leaving the land of Egypt, when we was escaping from the Egyptians, or from the land of Egypt. We was us, the Israelites, was going through towards a city which was ruled over by the nation of Edom, right? And Moses, petitioned to go through the city, and he basically, Moses said, look, we're not going to look, just for the sake of just for their sakes, they were going to go through the King's Highway, instead of the regular way, and the ruler during that time, the ruler of Edom, sent out men to meet Moses and the rest of the Israelites, and they cut them off, and the Lord made mention of that. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai made mention that the day that Esau Edom stood in the way and prevented us from going through the city to be able to reach the promised land, which is the land of Israel. Okay, and still to this very day, the Lord remembers that day. All right, but going back to the time of Cain and Abel, like I said, that occurrence that took place when Cain slew his brother Abel, that set off, the time for the prophecy to take place in this time. Okay, and indeed, like the title says, the punishment fits the crime. Okay, because the crime is the murder of his brother Abel, which is Cain right now, or should I say the seed of Cain, because Cain and Abel represented the nation of Israel in this time, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and Cain represents the Edomites. All right, because you have what you see now is the seed of Abel and the seed of Cain that are playing out their part here on the planet Earth. All right, and again, like I said, that's the reason why you still see that same animosity between the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans against the so-called white man. All right, and like I said, Esau Edom is still held on trial to this very day because of that. You know, they're being held accountable for the things which took place in the past, right? And yes, indeed, the Lord still remembers the past. He remembers the things that took place before time, all right? You know, even though they tell you to this very day to forget about what they did, you know, and just let it all, you know, just let everything go and let it be in the past. But guess what? The Lord, Yahweh Bashmion Shah, still has a controversy against the nation of Edom because of the things that took place in the past, okay? And that's why, you know, the Lord is going to punish the Edomites, starting with the top elite bankers of the nation of Edom, all the way down to your lowest of the low Edomite. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the account in Genesis chapter 4, and this is at verse 9, and this is after Cain slew his brother Abel. Okay. It says, and the Lord, Yahweh Bashmion Shai, said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? All right. And you know, Cain was, you know, still, you know, you still see that to this very day with these Edomites, you know, being facetious. You know, Cain said, he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? All right. So Cain, you know, was being facetious, you know. He said, look, am I my brother's keeper? You know, am I supposed to look after him? You know, he was getting smart with the Lord, man. All right. Verse 10, it says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. All right. And, you know, Yahweh Bashmion Shah was hearing the cries of Abel. All right. Because after Cain slew Abel, you know, Abel went back to the spirit world. Okay. And Abel told the Most High what happened. All right, you know, he made a complaint to the Lord, Yahweh Bashmion Shai, of when he was put to death. All right, and guess what? You still hear that cry to this very day. Okay, because that cry is emanated from the men of the Lord that you see today, which, Lord's will, we are a part of that hopefully elect number. All right, that's where you're hearing the cries from now. Okay, still the voice of Abel is still being made towards the Yahweh Bashmion Shai. You know, the Lord still hears that voice. And again, that's by way of the men that you see that are prophesying today. Okay. Verse 11, it says, and now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. All right, so the Lord cursed Cain from the earth. All right, and it goes further into it. It said, verse 12, it says, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. All right. And that's what you see Esau being reduced to today. That's why Esau puts on these different identities. You know, he takes lands and calls himself after those same people. All right. He goes throughout the earth and take over different lands and name them after himself. You know, this man, you know, when you look into his history, he's always been on the run. All right. And it says he's a vagabond. You know, a vagabond is somebody that's wandering. That's why if you read further down, you know, I'm not going to read all the way down this chapter because I got more precepts I want to grab. But Esau, well, not Esau, Slocky, but that spirit. Cain went to the land of Nod after the Lord had cursed him. All right, and if you look at that word Nod, that word is translated into the definition of wandering. Okay, so that's why this man right now is still wandering the planet Earth. All right, and and again, like I say, he's taking over these different lands. All right, and he's taking possession of them and claimed it as theirs. Okay. So let's see, verse 13, right? And Cain said unto the Lord, Yahweh Bashmion Shai, my punishment is greater than I can bear. All right. And in a roundabout way, that's what this man is saying today. Esau, Edom. All right. Because when we prophesy about his judgment, all right, Esau just shirks it off and pass it off as nothing. Esau makes light of the prophecy concerning him. All right. Why? Because when you tell Esau, Edom, that he's about to be destroyed, all right, he's not able to handle the truth concerning him. So that's why, Cain saying that his punishment is greater than he can bear. All right. That's why these Edomites get all up in arms about, him being told his judgment. All right. Even to the point to where he's apt to take this word off the airways, off the internet. All right. And try to put a stop to the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai being published by the man of the Lord. Okay. Reading on, verse 14 says, "Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And thou shalt be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me." All right. And that's why, you're seeing a transition towards the interests of the people. Because guess what? Now you got even Esau going against himself. Because you got lower level Edomites going against the higher ups of Edom. All right. And not just that, these other nations, they see this man, all right, because this man is now revealed, okay, and they want to get their hands on him. All right. So that's why now, that spirit is now being conjured up. All right. The spirit of everybody laying their hands on Esau, Edom. Okay. But yeah, that's it on that. I want to go ahead and grab this next precept. Yep. So this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 8. And like I said, we represent Abel. Us, the nation of Israel, which again consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay. And this is how the Lord feels about that. Okay, it's Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. How the Lord feels about how Esau, Edom is destroying the nation of Israel, or attempting to destroy the nation of Israel. Okay, this is how the Lord feels about what's going on today, and what happened back in the ancient world. In times past. Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8, it says, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye." Okay, and this is talking about the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel is considered the apple of the Lord's eye. Okay, a treasured people. Okay, the Lord's treasure. That's why the Lord said He's going to make He's going to make up His jewels. Okay. But since we are considered the apple of the Lord's eye and the Lord's most precious treasure, anybody that touches His treasure, all right, the apple of the Lord's eye, all right, that your punishment is going to be far more greater than any other punishment that's on the planet Earth. All right, and that's why Esau, Edom is not only going to be destroyed, but also he's going to face the time of slavery. All right, he's going to experience the hardcore bondage and being put in chains. All right, and being brought through the ringer, man. All right, when you look at what we went through during the time of when we was in slavery. All right, we was in hardcore bondage. And it's considered cattle slavery. All right, guess what? That's going to be twice as horrible as we went through. All right. And that's why Esau, Edom's punishment is far greater. All right. And again, like the title says, or like I said at the beginning, is that concerning Cain, he said his punishment is too much for him to bear. All right? And that's why we even ask ourselves, how is this man going to be able to get through the first 5 minutes of slavery? Because he cannot handle it, man. All right? If you see this man in his purest form, right? If you see Esau Edom in his purest form, man, he's not going to be able to handle that. The spirit going to have to be on him to be able to get through that. All right? The Lord going to have to put a spirit for him to do that, to go through that, experience it. All right? But I'll move on from there. I'm going to get the book of Ezekiel chapter 35, and I'm going to start at verse 5, okay? It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. All right? So the Lord is preparing Esau Edom to blood, okay? Because he has shed the blood of his chosen. He has shed the blood of the apple of his eye, okay? So that's why the punishment of Esau Edom fits the crime, okay, as the title says. So blood is being prepared for Esau Edom, and blood is going to pursue him, and blood is pursuing him to this very day. All right? Because all the crimes in which he's committed, he's still running away from all the crimes in which he did, man. All right? And he's going to continue to run to the point to where Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is just going to catch him, all right, unawares, and destroy him from off the face of the earth. All right? Where it says, see, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. All right? So, seeing that this man has not hated blood, all right, because he enjoys watching our people being destroyed, man. All right? Don't think for a second that this man, doesn't get off on our people being destroyed, man, or being brought through this hellhole. Okay? He's loving every second of it. That's why, again, when he's judged, the Lord's going to make sure that he feels every single inch of the Lord's hatred. All right? And yes, the Lord does hate Esau Edom. Go read Romans 9 and 13, and it says it right there. All right? For Jacob have I loved, and Esau have I hated. All right? As it is written. Okay? So, again, the Lord is going to make sure that the nation of Edom meets their end by way of blood. Okay? Now, this verse 7, this last verse, it says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate. All right? And Mount Seir represents Edom. Okay? And cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. All right? So, there it is, man. Everything that's happened up to this point in time has led up to the stage which I mentioned earlier, which the Lord is setting, man. All right, and you're seeing it. That's why it is only a matter of time before the climax, the final scene of the movie, the show that we're living in, starts to show itself. But I'm gonna go ahead and end off this video and this lesson on that note. And Lord's will, this was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Until next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Shai, Ba'Shem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the others, great millstone that will to this day. And shalom, peace and safety, salutations to the whole elect that's continuing to labor in this work and labor to show forth your diligence to make your calling and election sure, and faith, truth, and sincerity, and also no charity. And with that, I'll say shalom.